Hey everyone, I know I scheduled a live, but I'm a couple of minutes late. This is my first time trying the YouTube live. So I hope I'm doing it right. For those who've been waiting, I am my apologies. So let's get this started. Once we have a couple of people, just once as you join, just say hi and let me know if you can hear me and see me fine, and we'll get this going. Hey guys, if you just joined, let me know. I will continue with the live. I'm going to start with the live answering questions about the industry, merchant cash advance. Again, I haven't. I think I've done once more before. I've done a live. I don't even know how to find it, but yeah, this is new to me. I thought I scheduled it so I can announce it to my followers. But today's goal is to answer your questions about the blueprint program or the industry itself. If you've been following my channel, you probably know that I create content regarding the alternative lending industry. I'm the founder of a marketing agency called Local Marketing Stars, and I'm also the founder of Merchant Cash Advanced Success Blueprints, a program teaching people how to be in business for themselves, being like a business loan broker. Gerald, hey buddy, how are you? Hey Tony, awesome. Yeah, I don't even know what to expect out of the YouTube lives. I know Facebook is much different than this. Pineapple Crush Me. Hey Oz. Hey, I know you joined the program recently, but can you remind me your name, please? Gerald, how's it going? It's going great, guys. I just finished doing a live for my members within our own community. We recently did a mastermind. Mastermind is an in-person event. I had about 12 people spend 2 days with me on advanced business strategies and coming up with customized plans for their businesses and then things like that. So I wanted to do a recap for those who could not join me for those 2 days because we have over 450 members in our community who joined the blueprint. So I didn't want them to miss out on it. Of course, I can't repeat the entire 2 days of what I talked about, but it was a quick summary of what we touched on, so they can take it in and start applying it on top of what we already have in the blueprint. Feliza, yes, did I say it right, Feliza? Yeah, so I don't know how Google, YouTube notifies people. So if we have, I just wanted to start utilizing this channel right since we passed. I think we're approaching close to 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel right now. So that's a lot of people, and I know I get a lot of questions through the comments. So I wanted to see if this is a viable option to answer those questions. Perfect. Okay, good. And I'm also like 10 minutes late. That's why I know that about 15 people booked to be on this call, but then yeah, I couldn't finish talking for my members. That usually happens. Hi guys. I mean, if you do have any questions, you can ask. We're just gonna give it a couple of more minutes. If not, then I'll stop it and we'll try some other time if that's the case. Yeah, I'm not even seeing my own YouTube live. It's odd. I'm wondering if I started at the right place because I scheduled the event, and I thought I started within that event. So you might have people who might be on the other side. Interesting. Oh, okay, good. So you're part of the announcement. You've seen the announcement. Okay, good. Yeah, this is a Q&A, guys. If you do have any questions, I'll take it. If not, obviously you have access to a ton of content through my YouTube. Gerard, do I have someone in South Florida I can hook up with? We have members all over the place. We have a lot of people in Florida. But what do you mean? What are you gonna? You want to meet him in person? What are you trying to accomplish? I probably have at least 40, 50 people in Florida. I don't know what parts of Florida. With ClickFunnels, can you design your own template? Well, I mean, if you design it, then it's not a template, right? So ClickFunnels provides you templates that you can use. But if you're asking in connection to the blueprint, we already provide you the template for the landing page for the merchant cash advance. So, but if you're coming in and trying to create a template from scratch, you're limited because it's not a custom landing page software. They just provide you the templates that are working for certain conditions. If you're launching a product, if you're selling something, there's so many cases, and it's already been tested. So unless you're doing some level of custom integration, it doesn't make sense to create a custom page. Mark, good morning. Gerard, so are you in the program already? Is that what you're asking? So you want to meet someone in person? Because if you're in the program, I highly suggest finding an accountability partner so you can post within the Facebook group and ask if someone is near you, and you can just, have, like I tell my members to find an accountability partner. That it doesn't have to be near you, but if it is, you can have your local gathering. And because I know Florida is one of those states that we have a lot of members, like Miami area, but we don't track that, to be honest. Like we can find out, but I was not curious to find out. But we have members all over the country and about 8 different countries. So yeah, just reach out. If you're a member already, just post it within the Facebook group. Let them know where you are and they can contact you. Okay, perfect. I also see that it takes 3 days for the website to become active. What do you mean? 3 days? No, there's no 3-day rule. If you set up the landing page and put it on your website, it's going to be active right away. Yeah, I don't know where that 3-day rule coming from. By active, you mean the pixel? Like when you put the pixel? All right. So you have to direct CNAME to ClickFunnels. Yeah, you can do that. It doesn't take 3 days. It shouldn't take 3 days. That's too long. Christopher, how do you find a good niche target? Well, most of the industries out there work for alternative lending, especially if you're in the program. We have a lot of products, not just merchant cash advance. So for most niches, most industries, we have the products that would help you fund it. So picking a niche is an interesting phenomena, right? So it comes down to the saying, if you're chasing two rabbits, you catch none. So if you're focusing on so many different areas, you're going to miss out on all the things. So focusing on a niche is important, but more importantly, how do you know where to focus, right? So that's why it's okay to start as a generalist until you're funding deals, because there are two types of people. One is they already know their niche based on their past experiences. For example, if you're from in the past, if you worked in the restaurant industry and you know the restaurants inside out, it's a natural inclination to work with restaurant owners because you know their business inside out. So you got to have some kind of affinity to the group of people if it is a vertical. So when you say niche, it could mean different things. It could mean an industry, it could mean a geographic location. Maybe you wanna, if you live in Long Island, you want to dominate Long Island, New York, that's your local territory, and there are enough businesses. That's a niche, right? If it is an industry, you got to find something that you enjoy with that niche, or you might know more than the average person. So you go by that. If that does not exist, being a generalist until you find your niche is okay, because there are many businesses. So you can be a generalist until you fund deals. Then you notice that you enjoy working with certain industries more than the other ones. That could be yours. So that has to do with your prior life experiences on picking a niche. Other than that, there is no secret list of untapped niches that you're going to discover all of a sudden and go after them. It doesn't really work that way. There's just massive demand. I just released a video about yesterday about it's like a 30-minute video on how to about the potential of this industry. This is a 50 to 300 billion dollar industry. So there is money everywhere in every niche. But the goal with niching down is to finding something that you can own and dominate pretty fast, so you become the guy or the girl known for that. Right? It could be because when I first started selling, for example, I didn't focus on an industry. I was a door-to-door salesperson. I focused on a geographic location because it was easier to control. And at some point, like on a certain radius, I had 150 clients, but I was focusing my energy in that area only. So that's niching down. And as I started growing my business, I started focus on certain industries like restaurants, because I managed a restaurant for 5 years before. So I knew things that an average salesperson would not know about restaurants. So I was able to connect with the restaurant owners at a deeper level. I can have those conversations about their daily life, the problems they might be running across. So the goal is not just to talk about the funding, but have them connect with you at a deeper level, right? Change for life. I really like it and still learning. Great job, buddy. What's your name? I know YouTube channel titles doesn't mean much, so I'm sorry if I'm not recognizing some of you guys, because I might know you by name, but if it is like a channel name, I might not recognize it. Call your hosting company. Yeah, call your hosting company. If it is taking 3 days, that's way too long. That's not a rule of thumb or anything like that. Jonathan. Yeah, as I've been following for a while, the question, what would you say is the average amount of time you see people new to the industry spending on the learning curve? The way the training is structured, Jonathan, is not like you go through the whole thing and then start applying. We don't teach any textbook stuff. It is hands-on. So when someone jumps into the blueprint, and the members here can cater to that, like you start implementing from day one. So the learning curve is you're going through different stages of learning this business. The first one is, if you're totally new to the industry, you got to know the products, right? You got to know what industry you're in. So the first part is you're going through that, you're learning that. And then once you get through that process, the second part is, since the way we're teaching it is 100% online, so you're doing this online, right? So we're not doing any cold calling, any telemarketing, and none of that, going to events and networking events and things like that. So for that reason, since you're doing things online, you got to set up your online profile. So usually if someone is consistently following the system, within the first month, they start generating a lot of great activity. Some of them turn into funded deals. Some of them are leads. So there's this very short in the realm of starting a brand new business, right? So, and most of my members are not from the industry. It's not like they've been doing this for 5 years and they come. We have members like that. We have a lot of veterans who've been doing things offline and they want to transition to online because they burnt out from calling leads and things like that. So it's pretty short. Change for Life, I did, and when have purchased a domain name outside of ClickFunnels, it takes 3 days for it to migrate. Well, you don't need to have ClickFunnels to take over. You can simply install WordPress on your domain and then download the ClickFunnels plugin. And so that way you're just masking ClickFunnels domain name with your own domain. So you don't need to do a whole hosting transfer. If you're doing the migration, now I get the problem. It might take that many days, but you don't need to have ClickFunnels host your domain and your hosting, right? You can just download the WordPress and do the ClickFunnels plugin so you can make your landing page your home page. Jonathan, the partner question, how long does it usually take a focused, hardworking person to begin to make enough money to live on? Well, it depends on how much that is to live on. Some people can live on $1,500 a month. Some people need $10,000. But the goal is to start funding a couple of deals within the first 30 to 45 days. And usually the average commission per deal is $2,500. So if you're funding 2 deals in 30 to 40 days, that's like $5,000. And for most people in the US, that's more than what they make in a job, right? Okay, not familiar with ClickFunnels. Sorry. No problem. Yeah, questions are fine. But like if you're seeing something is off, like taking 3 days, reach out to our support because they can help you with something, because you shouldn't wait 3 days. I mean, if you're already 2 days into it, that's fine. But if you're thinking that's what's going to take each time, that's really not the case. Christopher, I have done e-commerce before. Do you think e-com sellers are a good niche for merchant cash advance? Might or might not be, because a lot of them, e-com businesses are kind of new to the lenders, right? So they haven't been around that long. The industry itself, especially like drop shipping and things like that. I've seen them getting funded, but depends on like their profit margins and things like that. So to each deal the lenders look at different factors. Like they look at the business bank account to see if someone is generating enough revenue. And the second thing is how much of that revenue is left at the end of the month. So a lot of times e-commerce dropshipping companies, they generate large sums of revenue, but their profit margins are so slim that there's not enough money at the end of the month to fund them anything, right? But that's just with one product. But yeah, it can certainly be done. Jonathan, I'm currently 4 months on to working at a well-known MCA firm, making next to nothing. Jonathan, unfortunately, that's usually the case. So don't blame yourself for that. Sometimes people ask me like, oh, the best way to learn the industry is to work for someone else. That's really not the case, guys, because when someone hires you and puts you on the phone, their goal is not to teach you the industry. Right? Their goal is to make you work as hard as they can and push you as hard as they can, so they can make the most out of your time there. So you're not gonna, like, I have many people who've been in the telemarketing industry or sales industry within merchant cash advance companies and came out and learned close to nothing because they were thrown into a cubicle and given a list of people and barely given even a script sometimes to call on them. So that's, if you've been doing something for 4 months and you're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel, you might not be doing the right thing for yourself, right? Jonathan, feeling very bored, very boxed, and selling one product at a higher than fair rates to merchants being declined. Yeah, that's the problem with most of the merchant cash advance companies, Jonathan. They only know or they only teach you one product, which is merchant cash advance, and it might not be the best product. And if all you know is one product, how can you really be an honest consultant? Because like you're going to come to a point of making a decision in certain deals, like either go unethical and still push the deal because that's all you got, or just let the deal fall through. Then you don't make money. That's a difficult position. But if you had access to 8 to 10 to 12 different products, then you can position yourself with authority as a consultant in front of your customer, so they know that you have well-being in mind, and you're trying to help them out by offering options. But if all you're doing is pushing rates and factory rates and things like that, I can do 1.49, 1.39. First of all, you're not dealing with the right customer, and you're not training them the right way. It's becoming really price focused. And even if you get the deal, it's very unlikely that you're going to get a repeat customer, right? Because you haven't built that value in the relationship. You're trying to build the value on the price, which is definitely a wrong way to sell something. And I also feel like I'm hurting the merchants, not helping them. Jonathan, sometimes that's the case, right? Going back to what I just said, if it is not a good fit for a merchant, and if there's a better fit for them, why not do it for them, right? But if you're working for someone, if the company's not supporting that idea, it's out of your hands. You can't really do it. Christopher, do you have funding products for marketing budgets? Example, funding marketing campaign for a local. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of deals funded for that reason. Mark Gray, I spent 2 days with Oz at our mastermind meeting in Austin, Texas, 2 weeks ago. Thanks so much, Mark. I don't want to read out loud all the compliments that you're putting here. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Great to have you. Jonathan, I agree with having options. You're 100% right. Absolutely, man, because this industry, the funny thing is, like people almost believe that this industry is based on merchant cash advance, which is far from the truth. Merchant cash advance is an arm, an extension of the alternative lending industry, and there are many other products. It just, merchant cash advance product is the, it gives you the highest margins. But then if you're building a business, you got to do the right thing for the customer, right? Otherwise you're not building a business. You keep chasing people over and over again, and chasing is not building. Can I ask for clarification on your commission sample or email and call you about it? You can email, but if you're talking about the example we given the training, so if your commission, and again depends on what product you're offering to them, but let's go with MCA. If you're funding a $40,000 deal, your commission is calculated based on the funded amount, not the payback amount. So if you're funding $40,000, you're usually making anywhere from 8 points at a minimum. Minimum acceptable points is 8 points, all the way up to 14 points, sometimes 16 points. So what does that mean? Points, well, it's basis points or percentage if you convert it that way. So what that means is if you're making 10 points on a $40,000 deal, that means your commission paid by the lender to you is $4,000. Valid TV, Jonathan, if you join Oz program, it will transform how you look at the business, and you won't have to feel like you're not helping your clients, and a lot of fantastic support. Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Mark, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Great to have you on the platform. Hey, guys, it's another thing that I want to mention. Sometimes it comes up when you join the Blueprint. We're not between you and the lenders. Like the Blueprint is all about helping you be in the business for yourself. So you're not signing up to Oz's lending platform and submitting deals through me. That's not happening. Like unless my members tell me what they funded, I have no idea what they submitted. So we're not an info product company. We're a marketing agency. So we're not selling training. To make a living, we do this because just to do the right thing. Of course, it's the business model. We're making a profit from offering the training with a fee and things like that. But just so you know that we're not, like sometimes people compare us to other platforms. We're not a broker that you're signing up with, right? You're given access to direct lenders, and there's no one in between. That's why we're able to make 10 points, 12 points, 8 points on deals, because no one else is getting a cut. Like this is just you building the business, which is super important, because when you think about it, you're working for an ISO. If there's a middle guy, let's say, who's giving you free training, and you get the free training, you're submitting your paper through them, guess what happens? You're going to make sometimes half while you're still doing the 95% of the work without understanding a system, right? That's the part that's kind of frustrating, because you might think you're in a business for 2 years and you're not given any proper structure on how to build it. You're just almost, sometimes it feels like you're chasing your own tail and not getting anywhere. And it's always like constant hustle. And this hustle thing is important because, I know, Gary Vee and some mentors out there talk about. The way I look at hustle is when you start something, hustling is key, right? You got to get it off the ground, right? But hustle, it can't be a long-term strategy. You should not be hustling forever, right? You only hustle until your strategy, your implementation, your action takes off. Once it takes off, it's time to build the building blocks so you have a foundation to support your business. So then hustle stops, then you have the systems in place to run it for you while you're a part of that. So if you've been doing something for 4 years and you're still hustling, you're definitely doing something wrong. Jonathan, yeah, Jonathan, if you're not getting, because even as human beings, we can tell if you feel like you're not improving, you're usually going backwards, right? That's the problem. You can't stand still in this day and age. If something is not improving, it's going back. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so you're getting 1 or 2 app backs and you're making 350 calls a day. That's brutal, man. You're gonna burn out. Like I've done it myself too. I was doing 2 days of phone call to 350 people calling 2 days, and the remaining 3 days on the streets calling on businesses. It's gotten to a point I was making somewhat of good money, but then I noticed like what am I building here? I'm not building anything. So anything that's not contributing to your growth, it could be financially, personally, or building something. I'm not saying this for your case, but the way I look at it is a waste of time because then the most important asset that we have, guys, is the time. Like time is, and we don't know how much of it left, right? So regardless of your belief system, I don't know how much time I have left here, and just spending that on something that's not giving me a return or that's not allowing me to build myself up to a higher standard for my own good is just wasting the most valuable asset that I cannot buy back, right? Christopher, what if I have no portfolio or case studies? How can I be trusted when selling my services? Great question, Christopher. Yeah, you don't need to have any portfolio or case studies. Just, you're offering the sexiest product on earth, and we're showing you how to build your online presence very strong that people do not doubt it. Because once they see that you have online presence, and once they book a call and get on the phone with you, and once you're following the right system, because we show you what to say and how to say it, learn about the products. Like once as you're going through the blueprint, you'll find out that more than the 95% of the industry right away. Even if some people, these people have been in the industry for 4 years, you know more than them. So you're not going to have any authority problem when you talk to someone, because the person you're talking to is not going to know more than you do. So that's certainly not an issue at all. Yeah, it's not an efficient use of time. That's it. Yeah. As for like the direct mail video, because I get that question a lot from experienced MCA companies, like the large ones who've been in the industry for a while, and for a long time, their way of generating leads was sending direct mail, right? So they would just blast those, fake checks. Like when you open, I'm sure you guys have gotten them too. Like, it says, oh, you pre-qualify for $80,000 to pay off your credit cards and pay off this and that. So that's what they used to use for years. And the way I know that is, back then, before I started the marketing agency, we used to do direct mail for chiropractors, because their target audience is 55 plus years old, and back then they were not online; they were strictly offline. So we're doing direct mail marketing. So we have a lot of experience. As time goes by and we have internet and the behavior of the customer changed, now they're more trained to go look up stuff online. Direct mail has become less effective. It's not that it doesn't work anymore, but it's not going to be as efficient unless it is combined with a strong online presence. So what some people want to keep doing is they want nothing to change, and they want to get the same results from direct mail they used to get 6-7 years ago. The point of that video is that's just not going to happen. it's not feasible, because yeah, you're gonna still send it to the same group of people, and they might be like still super qualified as before, but the behavior of your audience has changed. So when they get an envelope in the mail right now, they open it up. Before, what they would do is they would open it up, they would read it. If it does make sense to them, they would pick up the phone and call you and talk on the phone. And if you had a good sales process and sales team on the phone, you would close them on the phone. Right now, what happens is they open the envelope, they look at it, it looks good. They just pick up their phone and they just want to check out your company online. And most of these people who have this habit of doing mass direct mail, they have zero to, very close to zero online presence, or pretty bad looking online presence, because they didn't need it until now, right? And this guy looks at the online presence, they're like, there's just nothing, no reviews, nothing online right now, and they call it a scam and throw it away. So what happened? So you've done everything that you were doing maybe 5 years ago, but the behavior of the audience changed. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to still do direct mail, like we do it with our larger clients on the agency part, do it, but not before you have a strong online presence. So when someone checks you out, they can say, holy crap, man, this guy is legit. Like they've been doing this for a while, blah, blah, blah. And then it can convert into a client. Then the question is, if they're going to look you up online anyways, then why do direct mail? Why not do online marketing so they can come to you, right? Instead of trying to, like, the worst thing you can do in this industry is try to convince someone why they need money. Like, guys, we're not selling a product. This is just, brand new Silicon Valley product that no one knows about, and this is going to pioneer the industry, transform it, disrupt it, and it needs like a 35-minute explanation of what it is. We're not doing any of that. We're offering money to small businesses. And the interesting part is they need it or they don't need it. Like, it comes down to that. So I don't believe in convincing someone why they would need money right now. Like, if you talk to small business, I'm sure you have some relatives, family members, and friends. Like, they know if they need money. If they do need it, then the question is, why haven't they gotten it? Because a lot of times they can't. The current banking system will not allow them to have that. So if they haven't gotten it, then you have a candidate for yourself. But if you're just getting on the phone and trying to convince someone why they need a loan or why they need an advance and things like that, just burning a lot of value and energy. So that's my take on direct mail. So it's not that it's not effective, but it's not going to be effective unless you make it more effective and kind of adjust to the change, because that's how we have survived as human beings for these thousands of years, because we adjusted to the change. If the weather gets cold, you put a layer of clothing. You just don't take off your shirt and challenge the weather when it's like -5, right? You'll die. You're not going to survive. So you have to adjust. And a lot of the bigger companies with bigger structures, they're struggling to adjust to the change, because the faster you can adjust, better results you're going to have. Hope this makes sense. Well, I offer classes in New York City, New Jersey. I had the first mastermind, Jonathan, in New York City, this past December. I don't have any other masterminds in calendar for now. We might have one later, but most likely it's not going to be in New York City, New Jersey area. The way I've done the Austin one, Austin, Texas, we posted a video on our YouTube channel about that. By the way, you can certainly check it out. So I just open it up to our members to pick a location, and based on the highest number of votes, I picked that location in Austin. I've never been to Austin before, so it would not be my first choice, not knowing what is in Austin. But we had a unanimous decision that it should be Texas, Austin area, and I picked that. So if I do set up a next event, it's gonna be by that. But I don't think New Jersey and New York will be requested. Islam, so why don't you post your live videos after you're done with them? Because some people could watch it later. It is posted once I do it. Yeah, so this is live. This is being recorded. This is going to be a part of my channel. So it takes a couple of minutes after it is being finalized, then it's going to be on my channel. Yeah, like the last one I did. Jonathan, good barbecue. Oh yeah, man. I had no idea. I thought I had barbecue in New York City, but there's no match. Like Texas people, they're living the life. Are you in New Jersey? Perfect. Yeah, we can meet one day for sure. My office is in New York City. We're in Midtown. Daniel, which should be your priority, your ClickFunnels or your website? They're the same thing pretty much. When you're first starting out, you want to have some level of online presence without spending too much on building a full-size website, because building a website is usually a massive undertaking. And I know the way I look at business is, what matters most is the revenue generating activities, and your website is not a revenue generating activity. So there's no need to spend your energy on building a 20-page website while you can have a good looking landing page replace that until you have revenue. Once you have revenue, once you have consistency, once you have money to spend on your brand, then of course the better option is to have an amazing looking full website with multiple pages. But a lot of times what happens is people spend a couple of weeks figuring out their logo, a couple of weeks on the website, finding a designer, giving them content, dealing with the communication back and forth. Then the designer doesn't work out. They fire it. They bring a new person that may spend time on creating content, because it's not designer's job to create the content, and they probably have no idea about the industry you're in. So all of that is time lost that you can't take back. So my philosophy in business is, when you get something up and running really fast and start generating revenue, and once you have revenue, once you have money, a lot of the problems will take care of itself, right? That's why, like, I tell all my members, and they know, like, if someone is focusing on something that doesn't matter that much too long, I'll tell them, like, stop it, just go back and run your business and start generating revenue. Mark, yeah, we had 12 people, Mark. That was truly amazing. I truly enjoyed your presence and everyone else's. Islam, great man. You're very useful trying to get into this business. Very interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting business. It's highly lucrative and profitable if you do it the right way. And there's massive demand for it. So it has all the right elements in it, right? For anyone to succeed, you just got to change your perspective or perception in things, right? If your idea to build this business is get an office, get some employees, and start running calling campaigns or get on the phone, it's just going to be very challenging. You're not going to feel good. I know some of you guys come from the sales background, and it might not mean it's not a big deal to call on people, but like even the quality of the people that you're talking to will be much different than inbound leads. Like my members, when they talk to inbound leads coming and looking for funding, it's much different quality of conversation than you just dialing people to find gold. Jonathan, that would be super helpful. What would be super helpful, Jonathan? I'm sorry, I'm drawing blank. Daniel, yeah, I already killed myself with that. Yeah, it's a grind, and they sell you the story that you do it until you build it up. But if meeting me, I see. Okay, yeah. So if you join the Blueprint, if you do any of the events, you can certainly meet me in person. Yeah, I'm highly available, Jonathan, to my members, because of course I gotta watch my time. I have 450 members, and they have the priority. So yes, if you become a part of the Blueprint, I certainly don't mind spending time, and they have a lot of access to me. Again, I just did I think it's an hour and a half live on recapping the mastermind, and I do weekly calls for the members so they can jump in, and I do Q&A sessions so they can ask me questions directly. And I'm very active within our Facebook community. So if someone is posting something, they generally get a response from me. All right, guys. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm only halfway through the blueprint, and I have to establish a professional LinkedIn presence. All right, Daniel. Yeah, definitely. If you're using LinkedIn as a strategy, definitely do that. Signed up last week after the call with my partners, Dapo and I. Still going through material, but very excited. Great. Congratulations, guys. Great to have you. Which I was wondering if one would have adequate training and resources to succeed in the business just by purchasing your blueprint, or there will be upsells, inner circle masterminds that must purchase in order to get all the missing pieces to really have success. I'm asking this because a lot of the training courses. And Richard, that's a great question. So first of all, my training is not $999. So I suggest you watch the webinar. The second is we don't have any upsells in the blueprint, so you're not going to come in and have to buy other stuff to have access to next level of information. I don't even have masterminds on calendar scheduled already. That's not an upsell. That's for those. I mean, I do it as I see fit. That's why I said it's not even. I don't even know when I'm going to do the next one, if I'm going to do the next one. But yeah, we don't have any upsells in our blueprint program. And the reason for that is, again, we're not an info product company. Like if you're not an info product company, then yeah, you might have upsells, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's okay if they're really providing the value. But the blueprint program is a standalone product by itself right now, and it works. I'm a part of. I do invest in a lot of programs myself, and some of them do have those upsells, and some of them are super beneficial. But beneficial because you're getting to spend more time with the mentor itself, because you're pretty much in the inner circle. But we don't have that structure right now. I'm available for the members. Um, just the ClickFunnels direction is worth the price of the course. Thanks, Daniel. I asked, should I set up my business first and then join? Not really. You don't have. I mean, it's at some point you want to set up a business because it's better to receive your commissions through a business account than through being a 1099. But it's not a requirement. You can join as an independent, start funding deals, and then you can set up your business. Yeah, it's not putting the cart before the horse. Yeah, again, at some point you want, because you get a lot of tax breaks. Obviously, if you get paid through your business, then as a 1099 independent contractor through the lenders. But yeah, that's not a problem. I have many people, a couple of them already funded a bunch of deals and they still didn't set up their business. So it's up to you, but it's a good idea at some point to do it for your own benefit. All right, guys. If no more questions, we're going to wrap up. If you did think that this was a good live, please like it and share it. So that would be great. I would highly appreciate it. But great being with you today. This was an experience for me since I don't join on YouTube lives, but since our audience has been growing on YouTube through the videos and things like that, I wanted to chime in person and get some feedback and questions from you. And if you do want to hear about certain contents on my YouTube channel, just let me know, drop a comment, and I'll pay attention to that when I'm creating the next video for the use of you guys. All right. Some do. It's not just one. We have more than one that accepts it. But again, ideally, you want to start a business, but that's not. I still have members who are getting deals funded through a couple of lenders who do accept it. But yeah, so they wanna prioritize businesses. So yeah, opening a business is not a big deal. You can start an LLC online and get your FID, a federal tax ID number online. So yeah, if you can do it faster, earlier. Val, talk, walk to walk. If you're debating about joining, don't think about it. Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I'm being approached by lenders and want to do it correctly. Be careful. BIHM3. I'm sorry, I'm reading these odd names since YouTube is structured that way. But be careful when you say approached by lenders. A lot of the lenders would not approach you directly. So they are They might be calling themselves lenders, but they're the middle guys to recruiting people, talent. Just, that's why, like, for the members, I highly suggest they stick with the lender list of lenders that we have, because they are actual lenders. But if you're getting hit by so-called lenders right and left, just be careful. All right, guys. Love you all. Thanks for the great comments. Again, like this video when you get a chance if you do like the content. But let me know if you want to do more of these live things. I can put it on the calendar. I only want to do things when they are effective and helping people. Otherwise, I'm creating content based on what I think is the fit. But especially non-members, if you do have other questions, or post it. Obviously, members already have access to me. But I'm okay with creating more content that way based on the demand. All right, guys. Love you all. Take care now. Bye-bye.